So if you look at why tech companies hire PMs, right? You will see that it's not because we will hire a PM for 2 months, they will come in and they will build a feature and that feature will be amazing and then they'll walk out, right? We are not trying to get our core product work done from an intern PM, right? The idea is to find talent early, people who have intuitive product sense, who are really passionate about building products, or very creative about new ideas with the grit, obviously, to execute on those ideas. People who ask fundamental questions and or like, why are things like this? Why are they not different? Why has Google been building products like this for the last 8 years? This makes no sense to me, right? So that is why we bring a fresh set of eyes in to ask us those uncomfortable questions, to bring in a new set of ideas. Because then once people get stuck in a system, any of you who might have worked in for multiple years in various companies, you'll see that once you're stuck in the system automatically starts to make sense to you, even if it's an entirely nonsensical system. You're like, yeah, this is how things have always been, so it's fine, right? But that's where interns will come in and just ask innocent questions, which will challenge your core beliefs, and which is great for a company, right? So that's why most tech companies will hire interns. And what do we kind of look for? So if you start your internships, right, remember a few fundamental things as you go through your every day of that 2 3 month internship that you have, right? So we look for people who have a certain amount of energy, right? A certain amount of positive optimism about solving people's problems, right? We're not looking for people who sap the energy from others, right? As a PM lead, you will have to motivate a lot of different people through your entire career in very very challenging situations, right? Especially if you think about a startup, right? So terrible scenarios where you will be forced to make sure your team is not hurt and they are motivated through various times, right? So if you are passionate about technology and solving users problems, show that passion and that energy for every day when you're there, right? uh, you should be curious and self-motivated. So we love for people to come in and ask fundamental questions, right? I work on a team called Google Payments Platform, and I walked into Google on my first day, and I remember asking our VP in one of the all hands, like in the all hands being attended by 1,000 people, all of whom work on Google Payments Platform, and I asked them, why does Google have a payments platform? Can't we just use an external payments agency like PayPal or Razorpay or BillDesk or whatever, right? Like, why has Google hired 1,000 people to do this? This makes no sense to me, right? And that was fairly existential to those 1,000 people's jobs. But that's what we kind of also expect, right? Like, new people come in and don't just take things for granted. Like, the org structure is obviously like this, or the product obviously is like this, or this is how we should be shipping these 5 products. It's not always the best kind of view. So to be able to take those fundamental questions, that is where kind of the value really lies, or the PMs really shine. The third is high agency. You will probably hear this a lot in your PM career. The thing with internships, right, is that you're not given a lot of resources. So even if you're walking into a really big company, you'll be given an intern project. There'll be maybe one more intern engineer, 2 people working with you. So you'll not have a data science team, a research team, a designer, and everybody, right? So you will just have to do things on your own. So I remember my internship at Microsoft taking 12, 14 hours. Not that I'm recommending you should spend 12 hours of your day for your work life, but it taking all that extra time, because I had to do many things on my own that PMs don't generally have to do. But if you don't take that agency, things won't happen, right? So for example, if you're given a feature to work on and nobody has asked you to do research, they haven't given you a researcher, but it's a feature for students, and you put out a LinkedIn post and you say, hey students, I'll give everyone an hour of my time about how to clear cat if you give me 30 minutes of your time to talk about this research problem that I have. And you get 10 people to talk to, and you summarize their requirements. You did all of this on your own. That's high agency, right? You didn't need a researcher, you didn't need a bunch of people telling you how, what, why. You just went in, did the thing that needed to be done, that helped you validate or invalidate that idea at an early stage, right? If you take those 10 people's opinions and then you walk back and tell your manager, hey, you told me we should be building this feature, but I spoke to these 15 people and they don't like this at all. We should be doing something different. Here is what we should be doing. I think you'll get a PPO 99% of the time out of 100, right? So that's what we mean by high agency, right? So the other thing is, obviously, interns coming in, we expect people to be creative, offer new kinds of solutions that an employee who's been around for many years will probably not think of. So that process focused a little bit, right? Not a lot, but think about the problem solving process, right? So there are lots of extraneous things, like I mentioned, the PPO, whether this product will ship eventually, or whether this is important for the company. That is not your concern. As an intern, you are given a very specific problem. Do your best with that problem, right? Don't worry too much about other things. As long as you show very positive energy and passion, you ask good questions, and you show high agency, in many cases, you will see that your internships will get converted into full-time offers for you. That's what you want to do.